Bo Derek became famous not only for her beauty, but also for the shocking relationship with a director nearly 30 years older when she was just 16. From an unknown surfer girl, she suddenly rose to global stardom, yet the price behind that spotlight was rarely discussed. After her husband's death, Bo stepped away from Hollywood and began revealing secrets that stunned many. Why did she turn her back on the industry that made her famous? What really happened on that film set years ago? Rare private photos and untold stories will make you see Bo Derek in a completely different light. Keep watching to uncover the full truth. Bo Derek was born as Mary Kathleen Collins on November 20th, 1956, in Long Beach, California. Her father was a boat builder and her mother was a makeup artist for movie stars. Bo spent most of her time at the beach instead of going to school. She only wanted to surf all day, and the only future she imagined for herself was working at a surf shop. But fate had other plans. A client of her mother named Margaret saw something special in the young Mary Collins and introduced her to a talent agent. This person took Bo Derek to her first audition with director John Derek for the film Once Upon a Love. The 16-year-old girl won the role and quickly left for Greece, where the film would be shot. John Derek was already a controversial figure, not only because of his complicated love life, but also because of how he financed the film. He persuaded his wife at the time, actress Linda Evans, to pose for photos, then used the money earned to produce the film. This shocked many people in the industry. The content of Once Upon a Love itself was just as shocking. The film tells a sensitive coming-of-age story about a young girl who develops feelings for her own adoptive brother and contains many inappropriate scenes of Bo Derek, even though she was still a minor at the time. During filming, the age gap between the director and the young actress quickly disappeared in a way no one expected. John Derek fell in love with Bo Derek, and the young girl, living far from her family and experiencing special attention for the first time, returned his feelings. This was not the first time John Derek had been involved in a scandalous relationship with a much younger co-star. Earlier, while still married to his first wife, he had met young actress Ursula Andress and left his family to be with her, despite language barriers and public criticism. History seemed to be repeating itself, except this time the woman involved was even younger. Linda Evans quickly realized what was happening. She left Greece and, around Christmas, announced the end of her marriage to Derek. With his previous marriage over, Bo and John were no longer bound by moral constraints, but they still faced a bigger issue: the law. Their nearly 30-year age gap meant their relationship could be considered illegal if they returned to the United States before Bo reached adulthood. So they chose to remain in Europe, where regulations were less strict. Bo decided to drop out of school, believing that life with the man she loved was the only education she needed. At an age when most people were worrying about exams and their future, she was living as an adult, swept into the worlds of filmmaking and intense romance. Not everyone believed this was the right choice. Her agent feared Bo's career would be destroyed if she stayed with Derek, and even considered arranging for him to be prosecuted upon their return to the U.S. When the couple learned of this, they decided to remain in Germany, both to avoid legal trouble and to complete post-production on the film. But their luck did not last. When funding ran out, the film laboratory, which had not been paid, seized the entire footage. Their work was effectively held hostage, and the future looked uncertain. During this difficult time, Bo turned 18, officially becoming a legal adult under U.S. law, both a liberation and an opportunity to return home. However, John Derek still feared being arrested at the airport. So they returned separately. Bo flew directly to the United States, while John traveled to Mexico and entered the country by land. The risky plan worked. Once reunited, they wasted no time. On June 10, 1976, Bo Collins officially became Bo Derek, the wife of the man who had completely changed her life. After the wedding, Bo quickly realized something unsettling. She was not the first woman to fall under her husband's spell. John's previous wives, Ursula Andress and Linda Evans, were both glamorous blonde icons, and he seemed proud of that collection. He rarely mentioned his first wife, Patty Bears, who had dark hair. This made Bo understand that she was stepping into a role that had once belonged to someone else. Not only that, she also became stepmother to children, older than she was. Bo's first acting experience was with her own husband, but that film remained locked away in Germany, forcing her to seek other opportunities. Her first released movie was Orca, directed by Michael Anderson. Although Anderson was an Oscar winner, the 1977 film was a complete failure. Many observers noted that Orca was merely a mediocre attempt to capitalize on the massive success of Jaws. Even respected actors such as Richard Harris and Charlotte Rampling could not save the weak script. Bo had only a small role, which ended with a whale biting off her leg. The film earned modest box office returns but was harshly criticized by reviewers. Meanwhile, John Derek was pursuing another project, and this time he did not want his wife to appear on screen. The film, titled Love You, belonged to a genre so explicit that it was typically rented from the back room of video stores, a euphemism for adult films. Although she did not act in it, Bo remained involved as a producer, showing up on set every day to support the crew. Her attitude demonstrated that she was neither afraid of nor unwilling to stand by her husband's controversial choices. At the same time, it also led many to believe that her career might quietly fade away before it even had a chance to begin. In 1979, a rare opportunity appeared, one that would completely change Bo Derek's life. Director Blake Edwards, the man behind the success of Breakfast at Tiffany's, was searching for a leading lady for his new project titled 10. The film centered on the idea of a woman so beautiful that she could make men lose all rational thought, a literal perfect 10. Edwards considered many well-known actresses, including Melanie Griffith, Heather Thomas, and Tanya Roberts, but none convinced him they embodied the image he had in mind. When Bo Derek walked into the audition room, she opened with a remark that almost sounded self-deprecating. "I'm sorry for wasting your time." But Edwards and the producers had the opposite reaction. They were so stunned by her beauty that their only remaining concern was whether she could actually act. The audition unfolded in an atmosphere thick with tension. When Bo began reading her first lines as Jenny Hanley, the room seemed to hold its breath. And then, she wasn't bad at all. In fact, she was good enough for Edwards to believe he had found the real perfect 10. Interestingly, her character in the film has a relationship with a much older man, a detail that strangely mirrored Bo's own life. What surprised many people was that Bo wasn't drawn to the depth of the script or the chance to work alongside stars like Dudley Moore and Julie Andrews. As a self-described beach girl, what excited her most was simply the filming location in Mexico. In her mind, the production would probably feel like a long, sun-soaked vacation rather than a career-defining moment. To create a distinctive look for the character, the hair and makeup team made a bold decision. They styled Bo's hair in cornrows, a process that required two people working continuously for 10 hours. No one expected this hairstyle to become a pop culture icon permanently associated with her name. Later, Bo faced mixed reactions. Some accused her of cultural appropriation, while many other women thanked her for helping make the style more widely accepted. The hairstyle even became part of a legal case involving American Airlines appearance policies, where Bo was cited as an example to argue that the look was not unprofessional. Even before 10 hit theaters, Bo had already begun filming her next movie, A Change of Seasons. The project had major potential, starring Shirley MacLaine and Anthony Hopkins. Despite numerous problems on set, and including a director being replaced and tension between the two lead actors, Bo quietly worked to the best of her ability. Before the film was even completed, 10 was released, and everything changed overnight. 10 became a sensation with audiences and even earned Bo Derek recognition for her acting. At the time, the Golden Globes included a category called New Star of the Year, previously awarded to talents such as Mia Farrow, Diana Ross, and Ursula Andress, John Derek's former wife. In 1979, Bo received a nomination for her role in 10, but the competition was fierce, and she ultimately lost to Bette Midler. It hardly mattered, the public was obsessed with her. Producers of A Change of Seasons realized they suddenly had a brand new superstar on their hands and naturally wanted to capitalize on it. Although the film had already wrapped, they called Bo Derek and Anthony Hopkins back to set and placed them together in a hot tub to shoot an additional steamy scene. Unfortunately, even that couldn't save the movie. Critics strongly disliked it. Just as Orca had been viewed as a knockoff of Jaws, this film was dismissed as a pale imitation of Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. Worse still, this was the same year the Golden Raspberry Awards began honoring the worst films. A Change of Seasons received 3 nominations, though Bo herself was fortunately not singled out. Meanwhile, Bo's first film, Once Upon a Love, remained locked away in a vault in Germany. But now that she had gained a massive fan base, the original producer paid to have it released. There was just one problem. Bo and John did not want that to happen. They tried to stop it, but failed. The film was released under the provocative title, Fantasies, and it turned out to be deeply embarrassing. The couple needed to act quickly to protect her career, but unfortunately their next move did little to help. John Derek wanted to distance his wife from the scandal surrounding Fantasies, and for reasons known only to him, he decided the best way to showcase Bo's talent was to cast her in a Tarzan film. The problem was that he wanted Bo in the lead role, so he altered the story to focus on the daughter of the man who discovered Tarzan. The result was Tarzan, the ape man, and it quickly became a chaotic mess. Strange stories began circulating from the film set. There were rumors that the animals in the movie seemed to fall in love with Bo Derek. People claimed that an orangutan named CJ adored her, and that an African lion named Neil did as well. One story said that Neil escaped from his enclosure and rushed toward her to protect Bo from the actor playing Tarzan. A truly frightening situation. Perhaps Bo did need protection, but not from her co-star. Like many of John Derek's films, this one was highly suggestive. Bo often appeared without clothing, and there was even a very controversial scene involving her and a chimpanzee. When the rights holders of the original Tarzan story learned what was happening on set, they strongly objected. They wanted production halted and did not want the film released at all. Although the family of author Edgar Rice Burroughs could not stop the movie from reaching theaters, they did force the filmmakers to remove 3 minutes of the most explicit footage from the final cut. Filming had already been extremely difficult, but the real challenge began when the movie reached audiences and critics. The professional response was almost a storm of condemnation. Many reviewers not only criticized the film, but ranked it among the worst ever made. Some even attacked director John Derek personally, arguing that the movie proved he had no talent whatsoever. Ironically, the outrage from critics did not stop moviegoers from showing up. Bo Derek's fans still bought tickets in large numbers, helping the film earn about $6 million in its opening weekend and reach the #1 spot at the box office at the time. If Bo had narrowly escaped the Golden Raspberry Awards, with a change of seasons, she was not so fortunate this time. Tarzan, the Ape Man, received 6 nominations, including harsh categories such as Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. In the end, Bo Derek won Worst Actress, an honor no one wants. Notably, the failure did not seem to change her career direction. Instead of seeking other projects, Bo continued collaborating with her husband, John Derek, on their next film. Bo Derek's association with Maurice Ravel's Bolero had already begun earlier, when the piece was used in 10 during her love scenes. Recognizing the melody's popularity, Bo and John decided to build an entire film around it, titled Bolero. However, the name did not truly come from the music itself. It was mainly derived from the first letter of the character's name and the bolero-style hat Bo wears in the film, an idea many considered forced and lacking substance. The production of Bolero sparked further controversy, especially when John Derek cast Olivia Debeau, who was only 14 at the time, in a significant role. He had reportedly met her at age 13 and asked beforehand whether she would be comfortable with sensitive scenes before giving her the part. Although there is no evidence of a personal relationship between them, the decision still ignited public outrage. The film's content was so explicit that producers faced strict censorship, and it was ultimately released without an official rating because it exceeded even the limits of an R rating. Rumors spread that the intimate scenes in the movie were real rather than acted. In the entertainment industry, scandal can sometimes generate positive attention, but in the case of Bolero, the effect was entirely negative. The film became both a critical and commercial disaster, earning 9 Golden Raspberry nominations. Bo Derek again received Worst Actress and was even labeled Worst Actress of the Decade for both Bolero and Tarzan, the Ape Man. The box office returns failed to cover production costs, making the project a severe blow to her career. After this string of failures, many people began to wonder what might have happened if Bo Derek had worked with other directors instead of collaborating almost exclusively with her husband. In fact, she had turned down several major opportunities, including a role in The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, a part in the James Bond film A View to a Kill, and even the 1976 remake of King Kong, the role that ultimately made Jessica Lange a star. John Derek's influence on Bo extended far beyond her career. Their relationship also left her carrying a heavy sense of guilt, since John had left his previous wife, actress Linda Evans, to be with Bo when she was still very young. Bo later admitted that when she first met Evans, she felt deeply remorseful and described Evans as a wonderful person. Evans, in contrast, did not seem to blame Bo, instead believing that her ex-husband bore the primary responsibility. However, John Derek's image was not entirely negative in Beau's eyes. She once said she felt fortunate not to face harassment from producers, as many actresses did at the time, because they were intimidated by John's strong and somewhat frightening personality. In 1998, John Derek died of heart failure, ending their 22-year marriage, a relationship that had begun when Beau was just 16 years old. After this loss, she believed she would remain single for the rest of her life. But 4 years later, a blind date changed everything. In 2002, Beau was introduced to actor John Corbett, who needed a companion for the Academy Awards. Although he was 5 years younger, Corbett quickly won her heart. After nearly 2 decades together, they officially married in 2020. Today, the couple lives a peaceful life on a large ranch, caring for 5 horses and 3 German shepherds. Their lifestyle is simple and far removed from Hollywood's spotlight. In the evenings, they often watch movies together, though rarely Beau's own films. The one exception is 10, the movie that made her an icon, because as she once joked, "I'm hardly in it." Beau Derek's story is a turbulent journey, from the heights of fame, through fierce controversies, to a quiet life in the countryside. It shows just how high Hollywood can lift a person and how costly the price can be for the choices they make in both career and life.